Not seeing it on my end yet. Let's see. See if we live. Yup. We in that thing. All right, clap it up. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York. This is the school where Blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics find out who they are, find out the do's and don'ts, how to keep themselves alive. This book is most of the time, all the time, misconstrued as a religious book. And understand that this is the culture of the people of color, that all nations try to take and say, this is ours, this belongs to everybody. But when you look through these scriptures, the title on this book says Holy Bible, which means separate records. It says that for a reason. It's separate from everybody else. So it's only meant for a specific group of people. Today's class, we're going to be getting into something that a lot of our people kind of struggle with, is dealing with our emotions. A lot of times our emotions can get us caught in certain situations to where at the point we either losing our relationships, losing our lives, or even losing or even waking up and seeing ourselves in a 5 by 10. So this type of class is just going to give us some direction on how to deal with it, what to look out for, how to handle certain situations. Let's start off first by going to 2 Timothy 3 and 16. Start out there, 2 Timothy 3 and 16. You got that for me? And we're going to start off there, and just to get a good reproof of what this book is mostly about. All right, this is direction, this is guidance, and that's what this book is always written about. Go ahead and read that for me.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of God.
All scripture is given by inspiration of God. So this is coming from your Father. Go ahead and keep reading.
And is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction.
For correction. That is something that, especially when he's speaking about our Father to his children, he's letting us know off top, this is correction. This is profitable for our people. The whole goal is to keep you alive. Go ahead and keep reading.
For instruction in righteousness.
Instruction. One of the reasons that we are in this situation that we in, the state that we in, is because we seem to not to follow instruction from the Most High, but he gives it to us all day and all night. Our issue, especially when we're dealing with certain situations. So let's say, for example, the classic example is let's say you getting pulled over from 5-0, and that. And most of the time, that the reason why you're getting pulled over, a person, especially the type of car that you drive, and let's say you in something nice, brand new car, or something that got some candy paint dripping on it or something like that, or you just got a nice BMW or something like that, or you just happen to be in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time, or you just happen to be outside when those night lights go out, when those lights go out, you're driving while back, and they will pull you over. And off top, most of the time we are angry about it. You seen that with what's that black sister name that got pulled over? And Sonya Bland. She was hot when she got pulled over. So understanding that the situation we in, they already have their boots on our neck majority of the time. And now she getting pulled over, or now you getting pulled over, and you see your oppressor pressing you, they are looking for a reason to lock you up. They just give me one reason. Just give me one reason. You have to be as harmless and smart as a serpent and harmless as a dove. That's how you need to look at it. Like, I know a lot of people say that life is this is chess, not checkers, but it's not even like that, because when you look at a chessboard, you see every move that somebody's going to make while you're playing. And on that board, you can control every movement that somebody moves. And in life, you can't do that. You can't even see the moves that somebody makes against you until it's too late. You can't see that. Like I said, if you're looking at the board, you can make the queen move in this way, the bishop move in that way. You can manipulate. You cannot manipulate the board of life. That you, and the only thing that you can manipulate is yourself. And the only way that you can stop people from reacting to how you do is your anger, how you interact with other people. Ariella, give me Proverbs 15:1. Matter of fact, no, give me Proverbs 16:32. 16:32. So let's say you get pulled over, you angry for whatever reason, because he's pulling you over because you are DWB, driving while black. Or let's say you at work, you didn't get that position that you wanted, or somebody's writing you up, for quote unquote behavior issues, or what's that word I hate so much? Insubordination. Just they'll just say anything that they do just to write you there, because they'll beat you up with the pen. It's a lot of times what the oppressor do. They'll beat you up with the pen and create a record against you. But if you give them no gas to continue, they got nothing to put down on you. Go ahead and read that for me, y'all.
This is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32. It reads, "He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty."
He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. So the person that's sitting there puffing his chest up, angry words and all that, a lot of times you're not even paying attention to what they're saying. Just imagine if you in an argument with your significant other and they yelling at you, they whatever, you ain't hearing nothing they saying. Only thing that you seeing is they are yelling at you, they are coming at you, and so you can't take anything in. But let's say if they're talking to you in the calm manner, they're talking to you pretty much with respect, you can take in information better. Go ahead and keep reading up.
"And he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city."
So there are times when you have, let's say, because this example is getting like somebody that want to rule with an iron chest. He want to rule with, take over, or just yell at people and stuff like that. But there are other people that can win over crowds just with their tongue, just with their calm demeanor, just leaders that are calm and just talk with words. Leaders that grab follow just with their words, just with their actions. I mean, look at Minister Farrakhan. He'll speak in with such a smooth manner, because he's smooth with that tongue. He'll say all types of stuff, and stuff that even contradicts itself, saying that the black people are the children of God, Israelites, yet he's Muslim. How they go together? You Israelite with children of God, but you doing the Islam stuff. Yet, because he got that silver tongue, he can make it happen. It's all about your delivery, all about how you talking to people, all about how you can I don't want to use like that, but you kind of manipulating somebody and bringing them down to your level. So let's say you're arguing with somebody, or somebody's arguing with you, but if you sitting there talking to them just like this, they got nothing to match. Because when you got two people yelling at each other, I'm going to go above you, and I'm going to go above you, I'm going to go above you. You got two people going. What's the next step to do? It's time to start swinging. You know what I'm saying? And then the person, two brothers swinging, two individuals swinging, they get in the fighting. Now I got to top that. What you gonna do now? Pull out a weapon, whether it be a gun, whether it be a knife. Now you got two brothers arguing because one of them couldn't keep, wasn't slow to anger. Now we got that situation. There's so many times what a situation could have been handled smoothly because two people just couldn't have a conversation, simple conversation, and this goes in relationships. I'll give me Ephesians 4:26. Give me Ephesians 4:26. This type of stuff. So let's say you get into an argument with your significant other. You hot, you mad. You can't seem to calm yourself down. So you instead of having a conversation, you just leave. Don't try to figure nothing out. Everything's still bubbling up, and there's nothing resolved. You come back, try to talk to that individual. The anger, the emotions, and all that is still there. They still want to do some things. They still want closure. That's the thing that a lot of people always say. I want closure. I want closure. I can't because you left this open. That's because you left without hashing that problem out. You let the sun go down. And didn't get that anger out. It didn't solve that anger problem. Go ahead and read that for me out.
This Ephesians chapter 4, verse 6. It reads, Be ye angry and sin not.
Now, the Lord is telling you that it's not a sin to be angry about something. There are times when, you're going to be angry about something and all that, but you don't want to let that anger lead you to go steal from somebody, to go make somebody unalive. You don't want to do that, because what they're doing, that's putting you in a situation, and you're not thinking about your significant others. You put yourself in the situation, now your family's put in the situation because now you're going, because why? You couldn't get your emotions in check. Keep reading.
Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
You don't want to let that sun go down while you're still mad about something. You need to calm yourself down, do what you need to do, go running, go play some ball or something, go swim, go hit the gym. You want to push them weights up. You know what I'm saying? Instead of pushing that trigger back. That's the first thing our people want to do. We want to pull the trigger back instead of hitting that gym. Go ahead and keep reading.
Verse 27. Never give place to the devil.
So when somebody's living in anger, it's like you're leaving that door open for Satan to pretty much come in and manipulate you. Because what's the first thing when somebody angers you? First thing you hear somebody say, "He's tried to play me. He playing me." And it's almost like I need to get my lick back. That's what it feels like. I feel, embarrassed. I feel, disrespected, and this person is playing me, and I need to see what I'm about, because this is me. I'm such and such. You ain't gonna play me like that. And then you try to top what that person did to you. That is a serious revolving door that puts our people in a certain situation. Like all that just leads into another heartbreak. So let's say somebody quote unquote plays you, and then you go get them back. Now that person got family, friends, maybe a crew. They know what you did. Now they gonna get you. And now you got friends, family, whatever that was like, oh, that's one of our people. We don't play that. Now they go get them. And now you got back and forth going on. What's going on? What's going on?
No, you had brought out something heavy when you said like go somewhere and exercise, because it's a proven fact that exercising cures depression. So if you're feeling sad or depressed one day, as soon as you start to exercise, you release those endorphins.
Yeah.
You set that dopamine, and it immediately goes away.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot of people that didn't do that. So if they make the wrong move and they end up in jail or something like that, they're gonna learn to exercise in there.
Yeah.
I'm saying, because why? It cures depression because you're locked down, and it also controls your anger while you're on lockdown. Yeah, exactly. So practice those things out here, right?
Exactly. That's the same. What he's talking about. You know, I mean, we got them gangs with the Bloods and the Crips. Just because somebody did something to their crew, and then somebody did something to the crew, now you got a blood rivalry going on nonstop, and this has been going on for decades over something small. You know what I mean? And that started just protecting the neighborhood. Straight, it wasn't even no real gang stuff how it started. It started out protecting the neighborhood from 5-0 and stuff like that. And now look what it's about. If you got the wrong colors on, it don't matter. It don't matter if you my brother or not. There are cousins and, you know what I'm saying, family members that are on opposite sides of these gang colors that can't see each other because of that. You know what I mean? Now you got examples like the Hatfields and McCoys. I expect that. You know what I mean? Because that's the oppressor. They known for just violence, and you know what I'm saying, you can't top because they always on some you ain't gonna never out unalive the oppressor. He always want to top you. You know, if you shoot him, I mean, you stab him, he gonna shoot you. If you shoot him, he gonna blow you up. You know, that's just how he moves. He always got to top it. You know, so I don't know if people know about the story of the Hatfields and McCoys, where it's a family out in the country. I forgot what state they in. They still in the feud, you know, decades later, killing each other for no reason. They're always trying to top each other. You know, so with that type of stuff, it's always somebody trying to top somebody because of the anger, because of the emotions. Right. Now you can go and take this same type of thing into your relationship, because there's always a time to mourn something. So give me Ecclesiastes 3:1 if you could. Now I'm not saying like let's pretty much go into relationships. Getting your little boyfriend, girlfriend, somebody break your heart, you know, and you know, you feel like the world was ending. You know, a lot of times people feel like they want to unalive themselves, you know, because of how the emotional rush that somebody gives, you know, and they feel like they ain't never gonna meet somebody different because of, you know, the person they was with, because they feel like, you know, this was what it is, and I'm gonna be with this person forever and all that. Don't feel it with it. I understand that there's a time to mourn and stuff like that, but it's time you need to cut that off. Go ahead, read that for me.
It's the Old Testament, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. It reads, "To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the sun."
Now the scripture saying there's a reason and a season for everything. I mean, matter of fact, keep going. Drop down to verse 4.
Verse 4, "A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance."
So there's going to be a time where you will be sad, be mourning, gonna be angry about things. I mean, you can speak about funerals. Nobody's saying that, if it's a funeral, you ain't got time to control your emotions, don't cry. No, you can cry for that brother, that sister. You can mourn that. Even your relationship, somebody break up with you and you hurt. I mean, it's okay to, you know, to cry a little bit, get all that out you and things of that nature. But you don't want to be sitting there and dwelling on that pain, dwelling on that, because the first thing they start to think about is they should have been together. You know, when two people break up, there's always that emotional torment, and a lot of times people will try to still communicate with that ex, you know, and that's doing nothing but just continuing to hurt that individual.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting there still living in that pain because you wish that you can still be with that person. What you can do is cut that off. A lot of times we're like, we can be friends now. Sometimes you can't be friends because you can't even control your emotions around this person, about this person. You need to cut that off. That's what you need to do. Another thing, people are, when you're in a relationship and you think about that honeymoon phase, you know, there's always a honeymoon phase with it, what happens, and people think, well, I'm trying to think about what was, and we could have been a power couple. If y'all was going to be a power couple, y'all would have been a power couple, but you're not. So you got to keep moving. Don't sit there and dwell on what was or what could have been, because if it could have been, it would have been.
Mm.
So you got to keep moving, because that there will sit there and just have you can't even go to work. You can't even eat. You just sitting there starving yourself. People trying to hit you. Hey, let's go. I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm just going to sit here for you. You can't even leave the house because you're sitting there dwelling on, you know, what could have been, what y'all missed out on. Or I could have done this. Nah, it's done. If y'all would have been that person together, y'all would have made that work. But it didn't. So you have to move on. You know, and then that leads to, if I can't have this individual, then nobody can.
Uh-oh.
So what you start doing, you start moving off of your emotions and want to either get rid of that person, or you want to make this person feel how you feel. So you do what you can to hurt that individual. That's a lot of time and patience. You got a lot of time in your hands to try to make somebody hurt how you hurt. Because that person that left you ain't even worried about you. They ain't even thinking about you. They thinking about they next boo that they with right at the moment.
Man.
You know what I mean? And the best way, old school cat told me, best way to get over somebody, you know, that left you or whatever, is just to grind. Get on yourself, get on your money, get on, you know, doing better for you. So when you do come across, if you do come across that person, they'll look at you like, dang, he or she doing this. Like, man, what they on? I should have never. And at that moment, that's your get back. That's your get back right there. They realize that they messed up. But if you sitting there trying to hurt them and all that, and now you in the situation, now you locked up or whatever, it ain't gonna make that pain go away. Now you either locked up, or you either end up getting unalive because you didn't did some stuff you ain't supposed to be doing, you know, and it's nothing comes out of that, nothing at all. I mean, it's a time where you're gonna come across some rainy days, but it's not gonna be raining forever. You know what I mean? Things are gonna come back. Things are gonna get better. Just like when you deal with a death. You deal with a death in the family. The scripture says there's a time to mourn, a time to weep. Like I said, you mourn that brother, you mourn that sister, but you think about that individual that you love, that loved you. Do you think they want you to sit there and just be mourning about them for months on end, years on end? You think they want them? Do you think they want you to do that? Like you can't even go on with your life. You can't even enjoy that. Now it's cool to remember them, you know, sit back and just remember some things or miss them, whatever. But sitting there mourning for years on end, months on end. I mean, there's times where you will see. I know most of the time our Israelite sisters and brothers do this. Every time a family member that dies on their birthday, when they have a dinner, they'll make their plate and sit it in their seat like they still there. they do that. You know, that's mourning the dead too much. At this point, you are worshiping that individual. You know, every single year on their birthday, they do that. They'll sit there, they'll make a nice little plate, sit it down, and the whole family eat at the table, and all that food just sitting there. And everybody finish eating. Ain't like you throwing away empty plate. What you gonna do? Throw that food in the trash. There's no one to eat that. You need to move on. That's what that is. And let's see. And also following friends. You know, I know we always look for to be our friend's best comrade, a best friend, to be there in times of need. The last thing you want to do is follow somebody while they're in a state of anger. You know, no one ever wants to follow an angry man. You know, because that angry man can lead you to the ground very early, super early. Matter of fact, give me Proverbs. Let me see. Give me Proverbs 22 and 24. Proverbs 22 and 24. I don't know if you looked at, what's a good example of this? That movie Troy. If anybody's seen it, it was during the time where a man's wife got stolen, and his wife got stolen from I think it was a prince. A prince came over there and stole his wife, had sexual relations with his wife, took his wife on a ship to his land. And once that happened, that king over there sent a militia of different nations to go fight a war because his wife laid with another man off of anger, strict anger. And because of that, a lot of men lost their lives on both ends. Of course, this is theology; it's not real, you know. But the message in the story is, you know, because of that one man's anger, because of that one man's emotional ties and stuff like that with his wife, you followed a angry man, and they took a boat and sailed across, you know, the seas just to get to another nation and have a long battle. You know, I mean, I forgot what the number was. I know it was over hundreds of thousands of men that got slaughtered, you know, in that war. And then at the end of the day, you know, the wife still didn't go back to the king. That king died. The other nation that was dealing with that, only person that was alive was that prince that unalived the prince that stole his wife, and his kingship fell. The whole nation burnt up. You know, it was all because you followed another man's anger. Go ahead and read that for me.
It's Proverbs chapter 22, verse 24. It reads, "Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go."
So you want to you don't want to be friends with a man that's quick to, like, oh, that pissed me off. We gotta grab the gat. We gotta go ahead and keep moving. There's a lot of our brothers that get in situations because of that. You know, what you in here for? Oh man, I was riding with my boy. We had to handle some business. That same business, now you in the 5x10. You know what I mean? Like that situation is always happening. Always happening. I mean, good. I saw another movie where I think it was called The Town. And the dude was just so angry about some stuff. He came to his friend's house. He said, look, tonight I need you to ride with me. We're gonna hurt some people. We're gonna destroy some things. We're gonna shoot some people. A lot of people are gonna get hurt. And whenever we finish with it, we can't talk about it. You know what that oppressor said? Who car we taking? You know what I mean? Like, because this person is upset or feel, a certain way, I gotta make whoever, I don't care who it is, I gotta make them feel what I'm feeling. Because I'm hurt. Now, our people look at that and be like, hey, that's a real nigga. Right. He riding for his boy. His answer was, who car we taking? He ain't worried about nothing else. You know what I mean? That is an example of, you do not want to just ride with somebody or go with somebody that's just, I'm pissed off, because he can't get out of his emotions. He putting everybody else in the situation that don't need to begin. Go ahead, Al.
I'm old school, so that takes me back. What you bringing out is so heavy. Listen, Officer Mathia, what you're bringing back is heavy, because you probably, as well as I know, remember the movie Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
And Larry Fishburne had told his son Cuban Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
And he had raised him right. And they were, I think it was with Doughboy, whatever, and they were riding in the car to go kill.
Yeah, Ice Cube.
Remember that? And what you're saying
reminded
me of that, because remember, he was in blood, had blood all over him, whatever, and he was like, all right, let me go. But because train up a child, I don't know if you're gonna put that verse later, but because to train up a child,
you are so right.
Right? He sat there in the car and had, his father tell him, and then he said, man, you know what? Let me out. Let me out. And Doughboy stopped the car because he knew he wasn't one of them. He wasn't raised like that. He wasn't about that life,
Yeah.
So that's what, important. What you bringing out is heavy. He got out and he said, I'm not going to run with evil men, and my feet be swift to go to evil, to go and, commit this sin, because it'll just keep going on and going on. So that's heavy.
And then that get back, right. It's the get back that gets people. Yeah, and he died later. Right, 2 weeks later. Yeah, 2 weeks later, off of what he did. And only reason that Doughboy was going after those dudes, because why? He killed, what, it was his brother? I think it was his brother, right? Yeah, it was his brother. Yep. So he doing some get back because of his brother, and what happened? Those guys getting to get back because of him. It's a continuous cycle. Continuous cycle. Now the neighborhood just full of death. Everybody just dying because of what somebody else did. You know what I mean? Like that. Revolving circle. Keep reading. Go to the next verse. Keep reading that for me.
Verse 25. Lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul.
That snare is that get back. You learn the ways of revenge, and that snare is that you see that the other end of that pistol grip pump, who's most of the time is on somebody's lap at all times. You feel me? So it's like that's one thing, especially our younger generation, or what they call them YNs, need to understand. Like that get back is always what y'all call karma. You know what I mean? Like there's always a response to what you do. You know what I mean? Like it can be, and let's say you control your emotions and you see what's going on and you give somebody a pass or let them make it. There can be a time where that person can see you again and remember what you did and give you a pass. That could happen. You know what I mean? Because some people remember what they did to one another. They remember that. Like, oh, you know what? There's such and such. He gave, my niece or nephew some help or a pass or whatever. Let him make it. Let him go ahead and whatever. Like it's another example. Like that movie Training Day. Training Day, when that white cop found that little girl that was getting can't use that word, raped, in the alley. He took care of it, got out of harm's way, but he ended up picking up her little wallet, her little purse. And that situation where her family member was paid to take care of him. Yeah, but her purse, little ID would have fell out his wallet, or fell out his pocket. They seen that, and they was going to even mess him up even more, but they had to verify. He told them what happened. They verified it. What they do? They let that man make it. They let him make it. A favor goes further than their revenge do. The worst thing, that an enemy has is when he owes his enemy. That hurt, because it's one thing that you're at war with somebody, and then they realize, like, dang, I owe him. Like, I owe him with my life. There's a part of that in the Bible that did it when King David ran up on Saul. Right. You know what I'm saying? When he was taking a little whiz, he relieving himself. What did King David do? He went up, cut his claw, and then step back. Sleep. Huh? Sleep. Was sleep? Sleep. Yeah, went in and cut it. That's even worse. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Sleep. It cut it. It was like, hey, I could have got you. You know what I mean? That it makes somebody feel even smaller. Right. Because, like, dang, he caught me slipping. Right. Now what you got to do? You got to really give him the same. You got to give him the same mercy he gave you, because you could have been gone. You could have been through. Control your emotions. It's better for them to owe you a favor than anything. I'd rather, if I'm upset with somebody, and I'd rather them owe me than me trying to get them back, because I get them back is done. But then when something happens, now they in the palm of your hand. They're in the palm of your hand, and a lot of times they feel like they owe you. And the one thing they want to do is they want to get that debt off of them. So they want to do whatever they can to get whatever they owe you off of them. Because that's a heavy weight. Some people that move smartly, they will just let it sit. So every time their enemy or somebody that did the wrong see them, they know. They'll lock eyes and be like, what's up? In the back of their mind, they're like, dang, that's all such and such. They can't do them, but just like, yeah, I owe him. I got to keep it moving. Like this book, everything that I'm bringing out right now is to keep our people alive. Whether it be relationships, whether it be dealing with the cops, whether it be dealing with your slavery, and it's a lot of examples that we see in life that can tie into real life situations. Especially these movies. I done brought out like about 4 or 5 examples of these movies, that deal with what we talking about. It's like you always want to be slow to anger and sin not, because that anger always lead to, I got to get him back. I got to grab my squad and we got to go get them. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing of these gangs in here now. Especially when I'm not even gonna get about when you locked up. The first thing you do when you locked up, well, a lot of people say you got to click up. You got to get down with somebody for protection. Because something happened to you, they're gonna be able to get whoever that did what did to you to them. You know what I mean? There's a lot of brothers that got locked up that have seen that type of situation. They can speak on that for hours on end. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of things that we could have avoided just because we kept our cool. Now, I'm not saying there's some situation where they just want to do it anyway. you know, and just get rid of you just because who you are, or because they even know who you are. You know, because our enemies know, a lot of our enemies know that we are the children of the Most High. They know that. The best kept secret is keeping that information from us. So that's why they put a lot of stuff in the media to pull us away from the goal in hand, serve the Most High, you know, follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Instead, they'll put media stuff like, you know, the Diddy trial, R. Kelly stuff, you know, they'll put a lot of that stuff that just pull us away so we won't see what's going on, or some stuff that's going on with Trump or something like that. It's just some heavy media that will pull us away, but on the back end, they're doing whatever they can to destroy our people. That's their thing, because they know as long as we're not following our God is not keen to protecting us or watching over us, because he see is we need to be punished because we're not following what we need to be following. You know, that's like a belt to our ass, pretty much, so to speak. You know, like the Most High is mostly he's only worried about his children. Or somebody else doing something else, he's not worried about that. It has no concern to them. Just like if you mothers and fathers out here, you out there with your child, and you see some other child cutting up, acting up, doing what all that, in your mind, you're like, ooh, if that was my baby, I'm gonna grab that arm and take that belt, and we're gonna do a ring around the rosy with that belt on ass. You know, that's what but since it's not my child, I ain't got nothing to do with that. They're gonna keep doing what you doing what they doing. That's how the Most High sees these other nations. He'll see them like, yeah, that's not my children. But if mines do that, I'm on them. I'm straight on them. You know what I mean? And we that's the thing is we always see that. And a lot of times they'll say, well, why am I feel like I'm being targeted? Why I feel like and then what we'll try to do is, if we're in a certain city or a certain situation, we feel like we can't escape our problems, what they do, I'm going to pack up and go to another city, or I'm going to leave, you know, and new surroundings, new beginnings. You are the problem. And they'll feel like, well, wherever I go, the problem seems to find me. That's because you are the problem. You didn't solve yourself. So because you didn't solve yourself, you leave Houston and go to Dallas, same problems. You leave and go to New York, Philly, whatever, same problems. Only thing that you're doing is you're switching out the players in the game that you're playing, because now you're a different city. So now you got different people around you. You got different players on the board, but you still playing the same game. You're doing the same stuff, same moves. You know, and then it goes back to what I was saying, playing chess and checkers. You sitting there making the same moves, and you got no control over the board. Why? You got to throw the whole game away. That's what you got to do. Get into this book, get into this culture that's actually yours, and follow through with it. Like, matter of fact, give me Proverbs 29 and 11.
This is Proverbs chapter 29.
Hold on 1 second. So when you sitting there trying to get your emotions in check and all that, and you start to get the braggadocious going on and stuff like that, a lot of people start trying to pump their own chest up, you know, and they start speaking what they gonna do and all that type of stuff. Go ahead and read this for me, y'all.
Proverbs chapter 29, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
A fool uttereth all his mind,
mm-hmm.
but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards.
When you sitting there trying to make your moves and all that, trying to do better, get in a better situation, you forget that we are in a time of war. And a lot of our people don't even realize that. They like, I'm living my best life. I'm like, you got other nations that's trying to keep you under their boot. And last thing you need to do is let them tell them the moves that you making. You don't want them to tell them your plans, your situation, because why? Read that first line.
A fool uttereth all his mind.
You don't want to be uttering everything that's on your mind, your plans, what you thinking about doing, all that type of stuff. Because what is your enemy gonna do? He gonna try to stop you. He gonna now what you're doing is you're showing the moves on your chessboard what you about to make. Now I see it. Now I can see a way to counter this move. And I can pop your bishop, take your queen. I see everything. Go ahead and keep reading that.
Verse 12.
Oh no, the same line.
But a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards.
You don't want to make that move until you don't want them to see everything until it's over. That's what you don't want. That's what you want to see. Example of this, I forgot the sister's name, but it was a while ago. It was a firm, like a tech firm. It was a real big tech firm, and it was ran by an oppressor that's the CEO of that company. And there was a sister. She was the CEO of another small tech company. Now, her thing was she was about to buy the bigger tech company, and she was about to buy the majority shares in that tech company. And that play was about to happen in, I want to say, I think they said it was about to happen like in 10 hours or something like that. But before it happened, that big tech company had a gala going on. People don't know what a gala is. It's pretty much like a big dinner of, the associates and showing their clients and speaking. It's pretty much hobnobbing, pretty much rubbing each other's shoulders, glow, that type of stuff. That sister went to that gala. Her name was on the list, but she went to that gala and dressed very modestly. And I mean modestly, like when you go to a gala, everybody's want to dress they fine gowns and their diamond rings, chains, and stuff like that. That sister put on some flats. She put on a regular little old sweater, you know what I'm saying? A little skirt, over past the knees. Just something real modest. Something you probably see somebody go to church in. And she went into the gala, and she saw how the CEO moved. When he was in the gala, he sit there and he just disrespecting everyone that he feels that was beneath him. So if there was a waiter come up, and he'll just push him away. Why are you still here? Give me this. Just treating him very disrespectfully. So after she seen everything, she was like, okay, let me just see it for firsthand for myself. She went up to that CEO, went up there, reached out, tried to shake his hand, like, hey, I'm such and such, gave her name. He looked up her, up and down, and that type of stuff. He looking at how she's dressed, her shoes, makeup, hair. He looking at all that type of stuff. He saw that, okay, she don't come from no money. She's not worth anything. Mind you, her tech company is worth 2.5 billion. His was worth, I think, about 1.3 or something like that. Whatever it was lower. And he looked at her hand, and he looked at up and down. He was like, I don't shake hands with the help. He told her. And was like, what are you doing here? See, this is the reason why we always got to sit there and try to meet these quotas. These people try to come in and try to, blend in with, our society and stuff like that. Call security on them. Got to escort it. out the building, got escorted out the room. And he's sitting there, and then some of his colleagues are laughing and stuff like that. He created a whole scene, things of that nature. Mind you, this sister was sitting there, just she didn't react. She kept her cool. Her emotions was in check. She just left, and two security guards just popped up on both sides of her and just escorted her out the room. She got out the room, they was like, yeah, you need to go ahead and leave. She's like, look, my name is on the list. They verified her name was on the list, but they still did not know who she was. And she still didn't tell them who she was. Mind you, while this was going on, there was a young man, like an intern, that was there. He recorded the whole thing. The CEO kicking out, calling security, so I don't, with the help, all that type of stuff. And he saved that in his phone for later, save it to the iCloud, whatever. And she got kicked out. And once they found out who she was, as far as her name, they're like, yeah, you're on the list, but he still wants you to leave. So she went ahead and left. That same night, that lady called her husband. Her husband was a high judge in some city. He was a high judge. He was like, hey, what happened? And she was like, he failed miserably. He said, he failed so to the point where I didn't even expect him to do some things like that. He was like, well, you already know what's going to be happening. He said, yes, I know what's going to happen. When that 9 p.m. hit, she had to sign the last paperwork to buy the majority shares of that company. She was buying 55% shares of that company. So that gave her the majority vote of anything. She can hire and fire whoever she wanted. Okay. So that next morning, she went back to that company, right? She went in that office and she went into the board meeting and things of that nature. That CEO came back in the morning, had his coffee, whatever. He went into the boardroom, saw that sister sitting in his seat. And guess what she was wearing? That same outfit she was wearing at that gala. Flats, little sweater, look modestly. He's sitting like, he's still like, who is you? And she's like, oh, sorry, I didn't get a chance to introduce myself. You kicked me out. My name is such and such. I just bought majority shares of your company. I own 55% of this thing or whatever. And we're going to be holding a vote to get you removed from this position. This man's face turned the colors of the rainbow, red, white, purple, green. He didn't know whether to throw up or to punch her in the face. Man, he knew his situation was over. And when this lady was in the seat, not only did she have the majority of getting rid of him, she went back into the HR documents and asked HR, pull up every file that they have on this man and let me know what's going on. Turns out he had over, I think it was $2.4 million worth of settlements because of sexual harassment, wrongful termination, retaliation, and every single payoff was backed by NDA. They always handle things internally, and she came across emails from the HR saying, from him to the HR manager saying, I need you to get rid of this as soon as, what can we do to get this away? And HR manager's like, we'll take care of it to where we'll get rid of the paperwork and stuff like that, and we'll get this all situated. She pulled up all those records. And at the same time, that young intern went ahead and posted that video that next morning. So he got all that going on, plus the posts. I mean, he's married. His wife sees everything. After all that, his wife divorced him. He lost his job. He lost all types of connections. Nobody want to mess with him because now it's public. Media's taking over. TikTok, Facebook, all that is gone. All because why? This sister showed her hand at the end of everything. Because why? She held her emotions. She held her hand. She didn't show the move until he couldn't do nothing about it. He could. Oh, go ahead. You about to say?
which is what I was going to say, that one word, checkmate, right?
Check.
So what, especially a lot of brothers and sisters have to understand, right? The first thing you do is examples, right? You buy land in secret, right? You build a house in secret.
Yeah.
Then you have a huge housewarming party.
Yeah.
You go on dates in secret. You propose in private. Then you get married in front of a crowd. You let your enemies only see the reality, not your vision. And in a chess game, it's just like that, right? You make moves, you don't talk. The only time you speak when you playing chess is to say checkmate.
Exactly.
Right? And life is like chess. Don't broadcast your intentions. Just keep achieving, because your achievements, they are your checkmate.
Yeah. That is straight up true. Straight up true. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do is let your oppressor see what you're doing, know what you're doing. Discretion is the best tool. It's always the best tool. Like people don't know what you're doing until at the end of the day you looking up and such is a millionaire or a billionaire or something like that. They're making a lot of noise. Like I mean, that's an example between the rappers Nas and Jay-Z. Jay-Z makes a lot of noise what he does. Right. A lot. He shows everybody. It's a lot of media coverage and all that. Meanwhile, Nas is doing. I don't know if y'all realize Nas is a billionaire coming up. Yeah, he didn't did things Jay-Z was trying to do. With the casino and stuff like that. Nas got it. Why? Discretionary. He don't let people know what he's doing until the paperwork and the ink is already dry. You don't see nothing until like, oh, well, Nas did such and such. Another example is Chameleon. Chameleon is the same way. He bought tech companies and stuff like that, didn't show nobody what he was doing until you hear other rappers say, yeah, he ain't got to rap no more. He ain't got to do all that no more. I mean, that man's a millionaire because he did what we didn't think to do. Instead of we was buying cars and houses and stuff like that, he was buying tech startup companies and stuff like that. And now we looking up, he owns pretty much Silicon Valley because he did what he was supposed to do. Right. Give me Proverbs 19 and 11. 19 and 11. That story with the sisters deferring her anger. Just imagine if she flipped out and she cursed him out, slapped him, did whatever. Now they actually got a reason to lock her up. Now they actually got a reason to stop whatever she was doing. That one move could have stopped her merger. It could have stopped everything. But because she kept her cool, she was the one to look down on him at the end and get that last ha 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 moment. Go ahead and read that for me.
Proverbs chapter 19, verse 11. It reads, "The discretion of a man deferreth his anger."
The discretion of and the secrecy, discretion of the man defers to anger. Keep that discreet. Be cool what you're doing. Keep reading.
And it is his glory to pass over a transgression.
I mean, you gonna do some put to the point where because you're not angry and because you're not unloading on somebody and all that, because you deferred the anger about keeping your emotions in check, that transgression that you would have committed, you passed over. You didn't even do it. You was able to keep your cool. Just like the story of that sister. She was able to keep her cool. Now she can sit there and gloat all day. And now she's CEO and can run that company and do whatever she wants. She can get rid of whoever she wants because of the patience. And that's the type of game that you want to play. That's something beyond chess. They couldn't even see her move. They couldn't even see her move, the bishop move, the king move. They couldn't see no moves until they look down at the board and see the queen is in a area. They can't even do it. That's like the brother said, checkmate. You know what I'm saying? Game over. At that point, your oppressor, like what they say, how did they get this? How did they able to get this? How did they, what they trying to figure it out. Mine about to blow up. You know what I mean? Like they can't figure it out. That's the thing that a lot of our brothers and sisters did, like way back in the 50s and the 30s and 40s. Those that became very wealthy and stuff like that, they moved very discreetly, real discreetly, to the point where you didn't know who they were until they were already in the position of power. And it's a lot of them that did that. Like Madam C.J. Walker. A lot of people didn't know who she was. Only people that knew was the people that she was working with. By the time they look up and they looking at numbers and looking at this sister walking around with all this fine jewelry and all this fine stuff like that, it's too late. She already then did it. It was another sister that she was a young girl at the time when she inherited land that had oil on it. She sat there and moved so meticulously that she had like an oppressor representative. That's what a lot of our brothers and sisters do. They'll move to the point where they hold all the cards but have a pale face representing them, to the point where once that ink is dried and you look up and you shaking the hand of their representative, and you look up and you see somebody, Sally something, Johnson. You're like, hold on, who's that? Oh, that's the person that actually owns the property. I don't know if y'all seen the movie The Banker. Hell of a movie. It was Samuel Jackson and I forgot the other brother name. Mackie, I think his name, Mac, something like that. Yeah, Anthony Mackie. Those brothers were moving so smoothly to where they buying the property that the bank is sitting on. And they used a young oppressor to go in to those meetings and acquire the property, but it's all in their name. That's the type of moves that I'm talking about. That's the type. And then when they get rejected or whatever, when he went, because I know when he went in that first time, he got rejected trying to catch meetings and all that. And a normal brother, the average brother, sister, get all upset. They want to create a scene like, why he can't see me? I see him right there. He can just hold a meeting. He can do. What did he do? Okay, cool. All right. I'll catch him later. He walked out. He waited till that man got off work and caught him outside and had the meeting right there. Since you didn't want to take the meeting, I thought maybe me and you talk. We always, what people that can hold their emotions and that's trying to get something done, they always find a workaround. Because the worst thing you can tell somebody is no. That's the worst thing you can tell somebody. Okay, you gave me a no. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. You give me a no, I'm gonna go over here. All you need is one yes. That's all you need. One yes. You know what I mean? That's when you're dealing with business, or when you're dealing with other people. You like I said, you getting pulled over by an officer and all that. He giving you all this hype and all this disrespectful talk. He's the person that's in control. He's the one that can take you away from your family. That's a lot of times we don't remember that because we're sitting there in the moment. Like you're like, hey, this person can take me away. This person can do whatever. Let me go ahead and just take the ticket. If you're gonna just take the ticket. A ticket is better than sitting there trying to get in touch with your bondsman, and trying to get that situated. What a $80, $100 ticket is better than you got to pay a $10,000 bond. What I mean? It's way better. I'll take that any day. And half the time you can just get a lawyer and do deferred adjudication. Take a driving safety course. That's off your record. You got to think about the cause and effect of your actions. And that's the one thing our people have to worry about is the cause and effect of the actions that are made. We got to think about that. Don't think about what's going on right now. Think about what is about to happen. Your goal is to get home. It doesn't matter if you feel somebody played you. That doesn't matter. Half of y'all play video games anyway. You playing something. You know what I mean? So hey, just keep it moving. You know what I mean? You feel disrespected? Okay. People get disrespected all the time. How many times our ancestors felt disrespected, but they kept their head down and kept moving because it was a time where you had to, when you walking on the sidewalk and you're a person coming that way, they hopped off the sidewalk to make way for them. So just imagine they like, I ain't moving. They can get unalive right there. And now because they reacted and they got themselves unalive, you're not here because of that. Oh, go ahead. You gotta say something?
Yeah, I want to pull a scripture if I could.
Oh, go ahead.
This is James in the New Testament, James chapter 3, verse 6. It goes right along. The entire chapter talks about what you're speaking about, but this verse is one just sticking out more. James chapter 3, verse 6. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. Mm-hmm. So is the tongue among our members, mm-hmm. that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. Right, and that's what you're speaking about, like that. The tongue is the smallest member on our body.
Yeah,
you know, but it controls all your members. Yeah, right. Your tongue could have you, you know, your heart bleeding out from a bullet hole, you know, or your liver stuck with a knife. You see what I'm saying? Your tongue, and it you know, it can defile your whole body on what you say, and it sets on fire the course of nature, meaning the events that happen afterwards, left, right, good, bad, in trouble, not out of trouble. Your tongue controls all of that. That's why you put your mind in gear. Yeah. Before you put your mouth in motion. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I mean, you extremely right about that. I mean, I hate to kind of get on women at this point in time, but men are physical. We get upset, we get swinging, right? We physically going to hurt you. A woman's power is her tongue. I mean, it hurts more than somebody punching you across your face. I mean, the way a woman can say things to you, and you know, it's like she got a machine gun, a AR-15, straight out her mouth. She just another thing and another. She'll make you feel like this small, to where some men cannot control their emotions, and they will swing on that woman because of that. I mean, the way that a woman can continue. Matter of fact, give me Proverbs 27 and 15. This is a good example of what I'm speaking about. Because that type of thing can also lead you and to get your emotions all over the place, because you can't control how you feel when somebody tells you something. It's just words. Words is not going to stop me from getting my money. It's not going to stop my car from moving. It's not going to stop it's words. But a lot of people can't understand that. You know, if somebody says something, he says, I say, okay, so does that stop your check? Is that stopping your lights from coming on? Did they harm you? So he just said something. Yeah. So what we talking about? Go ahead and read that for me.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 15. It reads, a continual dropping in a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike.
Man, do you know how powerful it is when you have, this is an example of when you have a raindrop continuously falling on a rock, right? You would think that rock is sturdy, whatever, is nothing gonna happen to it. That small raindrop falling on that rock continuously, what happens? Erosion. And that continual drop, continual steady drop on that rock. Over time, that rock is gonna give way. And it's not gonna be a rock anymore. It's gonna be a pebble. And it's gonna be just grains of sand. That is how a continuous woman can wear a brother out. That's what it's like. Her tongue can wear a strong brother out. If he let her. If he let those emotions get to him, yeah, that could happen. You know what I mean? We need to learn to understand, how we handle people and how we deal with certain people and ourselves in certain situations. Control your emotions. Like I said, words are just words. There's a time when somebody say, boy, you ain't shit. First thing I say is, I never said that I was. And I keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Quick. You know what I'm saying? I hit them with that. It's just it throws people off. You know what I mean? Instead of what they say is, I'm gonna do this and this, and it's times where two brothers going back at it and they'll yell at each other, and they'll say some stuff. That's one thing I never understood. When two brothers going at it, and they say, yeah, whatever, and they'll say, suck my whatever. My question is, so hold up. You so mad at this brother that you want him to please you? Is that what we're doing? That's offensive? So, okay, so you got a woman, if y'all doing it in the bedroom, are you mad at her? So she doing that to you? So that's an insult to your woman. Like all that, it don't make sense. It don't make sense to me. You know what I mean? I guess people just say things, they so mad, they just blurt out things. I mean, he can say something like, fold my clothes. They'll piss somebody off. You know what I mean? Go make me a plate, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Don't say some stuff that's gonna get your woman doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, just make them, that don't make sense to me. But anyway, like I said, control your emotions, realize that the situation you're in, this is not chess and this is not checkers. This is the game of life. The only thing that you can control is yourself. All right. With that, in the class, pass class over to Shamar, read the security announcements. You got those?
Mic test. What's coming? Feast of
Oh yeah, right.
Tabernacle. That's the next one. All right. And now for security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means in the Hebrew, ma'ashara, 10th% of every penny of any increase the Lord the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher, which is priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, which is Memorial of Blowing of Trumpets. It's the first day of the 7th month, Friday, September 11th, 2026. It can be found in Leviticus chapter 23, verses 24, 25, from what I can see. All right. Let me see. Reminding all of the Akim, right, and Akwath, which means brothers and sisters, to check the bulletin board right there in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black. That's black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And that will conclude the security announcement. Pass the class over to priest and officer. 5,000, Amathia.
All right, with that, I'm just going to salute the brothers, salute the sisters. Stand. All right. Men of Israel. Bobby Shabbat. Major. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabarakatah.
Yasbatah. Sar, turn to the sisters. Men of Israel. Bobby Shabbat. Major. Barak.
Yahweh Shemal Latamba Shem Yahweh Shah.
Yasbatah.
Sister want to say it. Al, Ata, Yahweh Shah. Excellent, sir.
Yasmatah. Dismiss.